Today's not that day, pal.
Well, at least you got your chips, though. What is that, Chipotle?
Yeah, but get this.
Take your time.
I,
Take your
I
time.
get to Chipotle. There's one person in front of me. One lady. Actually, there was two. First person, they're ordering 2 freaking bowls. All right, whatever. They're getting it for someone. Then the lady in front of me also gets 2 freaking bowls. This isn't a huge deal normally. The freaking guy, I don't know what he's doing. It takes him about 5 minutes to even start on the first guy's order. Like, he's just dicking around. I'm like, dude. So then finally I'm up. It's my turn to go. I'm like, all right, white rice, no beans, double chicken. He gets to the chicken part. And I see a mountain of black beans on my white rice. I'm like, oh my God, dude. At this point, he had already put the scoop of chicken in. I was like, oh.
Did he stop him?
He was like, well, he stopped after the first scoop of chicken. I'm like, oh. And he's like, oh, did you want brown rice? I'm like, brown? No. I said no beans. But I was just like, there's a line of people behind me. I was like, it's fine. I'll eat the black beans. Which, I will. I'm not even a huge baby about it. But at the same time, I don't want to eat the black beans.
You know what you got to do? You gotta pull up to Chipotle the way people were a couple months ago with the big cameras just in their face as they're making the order.
Tight.
It's like, I didn't say black beans.
Get this. Last week, I go there. Same location.
Repeat offender?
Yeah. This one's criminal. This one's actually criminal. I go, they get my order right. I have a free coupon that I've saved up for free chips. I've saved up with my points.
Uh-huh.
I asked for chips. I scan the coupon, so it's no longer in use. I leave. I get home, and what do they forget? My free chips. So
You gotta
not
stop
only did
going
I,
to this.
yeah, it's awful. I mean, this time I at least got a respectable amount of chicken, and it's a good size. But I'm never going back to this one ever again.
Well, that's the same as the Chipotle that was in Market Square. Like,
Yeah, that was awful.
That was one of a Smitty.
First off, you had to make sure that you didn't get killed on your way to the Chipotle. That was step one. And if you made it to the Chipotle, not only are you in a Chipotle where there's food everywhere. I mean, I've never seen like the prep station have just shit everywhere.
Fruit flies.
You got the white rice and the brown rice. You got the chicken. It's all just cross-contaminating. And I don't care because I know when I'm going to Chipotle, like, you run that risk, right? But it's like, you guys got to have some self-pity when you're sitting there making the bowls like, I'm not intentionally doing this. And I think they were.
Do you remember, Smitty, at that one, when they actually got to a point where they had to put the handwritten sign on the door saying, yes, we don't have cheese. Yes, we don't have white rice. Yes, we've talked to ownership. Deal with it. Like,
they would run out of stuff all the time.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was once I went and there was a different white sign on the door. I don't remember. No, didn't they close down completely for like a couple months?
Probably.
That's what happened.
They probably had so many health violations. I mean,
they definitely didn't pass the health inspection.
I mean, they had the cheese with the lettuce and the lettuce with the salsa. It's like, not everyone wants them mixed together.
That's the salsa day, you know what I'm saying?
They got so bad there for a couple months, we had to go to Moe's. And that's saying a lot.
That was a time. And even when we did go to Moe's, when we go along that street, Smitty remind us to never, ever go again with that couple because they want to stop at CVS sometimes.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot about that.
And
yeah, that was one of the... Oh, my God. Wow.
Without further ado, I think...
Yeah.
I think we can start right there.
Just based off the reaction, if you're listening, I think you shouldn't ask any more questions. Let's just leave it at that. And I'm usually the one that likes to tell all, but this isn't one of those situations where people need to know what happened. Just keep moving. You don't stop. If you're going to the Chipotle, you're going down the Market Square, you'll learn. Just keep it stepping. Don't stop. Don't say hi to anybody on the street. Just keep it going.
Speaking of keeping it going, welcome everyone to another episode of Remotely Related. I'm your host, Kenny. And before I introduce the rest of the panel, we do want to let you know that we appreciate likes, comments, and subscribes. We did get another one based on last episode, I think. So shout out that person, whoever you are. But yeah, any comments, stars, reviews also goes a long way. And we keep it pushing. Smitty, Mucky, it's been quite a midweek so far. How we doing?
I just laugh because we posted an Alexander Isak is probably the best striker in Europe clip. And one of the guys just replied, or the Prem is just ass. Which is funny because if you're saying the Prem is ass, that means you either support Bayern Munich, who have won the league about 15 of the last 17 years, PSG, who I think have won the league every year I've been alive, Real Madrid, who are the only team in that league that have money, or you're just a loser.
That'll definitely get us some more subscribers. No, but honestly, I did see those comments, and you know what? If people want to keep arguing about Isak, it's fine. I just know where I stand, but that's up to y'all. But speaking of Newcastle, is this where we want to start? Is this where we want to start this weekend of the Prem?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay. Smitty, take it away.
You know, I'm running out of words to say because no one really saw this coming. Let's be completely honest. Let's rewind 6 months. Everyone knew. Yes, they have some really good players, but is Van Dijk past his best? Is Salah past his best? Is the midfield actually good? And the biggest question of them all, let's be honest, was how is a manager that is coming from the same league that Erik ten Hag came from going to fare in the Premier League? And to be completely honest with you, he's kind of making a mockery of Premier League football. Because it's not that they're 13 points clear and that. It's just that the ease in which they're doing it. Like, at the weekend playing at Man City, that's not supposed to be a stroll in the park. And it really was. Newcastle, not supposed to be a stroll in the park. And it was. And I don't know about you guys, but like, I can't count and I can't remember how many times they've won games 2-0 this year. And if you're winning a game 2-0, it's just, we're going to score, we're going to keep it tight at the back, and we're just going to get 3 points and move on. And it just happens over and over and over again. And the scary thing for everyone else is they're not going to get any worse. Like, they right now don't have a competent left back. Nor do they have a competent striker.
Talk your talk.
So, if Salah can play at similar levels, obviously he's not going to play like this another year if he's still here. But if he can score 20 goals and they add a striker and a left back and Van Dijk stays, it might get scary. It might get scary.
That is a question. I hear you. But before we get there, because Arsenal will definitely have their time, that was well said. The one thing I do want to first ask you is, do you think Jurgen Klopp kind of set Arnie to be in this position, like based on the squad and based on everything? Because the way I look at it, he is put in such a perfect situation where the players he has is already quality. It's like more of just fine-tuning and tweaking those systems as opposed to, like, I wouldn't say an Amorim or whoever, but there's other managers who have been in much worse situations. How much do you think that plays into their success?
I mean, it's definitely a big part of it, right? Like, I mean, I look back at 2 years ago when they finished 5th and they were terrible, and Klopp probably could have just left then. But they had the summer where they, let's be honest, they went 4 for 4 with Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Endo.
Szoboszlai.
And they did that for the price of Jude Bellingham alone, pretty much. So they went from wanting that one guy to doing a complete midfield rebuild. And then they finished third the next season. But like I said, like he set the foundation. He got them on solid ground. And then you add a manager who's fresh and obsessed with football. Like, it should go well, right? Like, the only challenging part is how is it going to transfer between the leagues? And even, like, Ten Hag in his first season did pretty well, right? He finished third, I believe.
Finished third.
The problem with Ten Hag was the players were never that good to probably be finishing third. So that's why it went downhill quickly.
Maximize performance.
Like, with Slot, if you retain the guys you want to retain and bring in players you want to bring in, you should be fine because your core is already there and the principle's already there.
Yeah. I think another thing going off of what you've been saying is a lot of what Slot's doing tactically has been really good, but also just the maximum performance that he's getting out of not even the Salah, the Van Dijks, the Trents, Allisons. You have the likes of the Szoboszlais, the Diaz's today, I thought he was unbelievable today. You have Ryan Gravenberch, McAllister. There's so many helpful pieces to go along with like the star power that you have that it really is just making them the most efficient and dominant team in the Prem. 13 points clear is so deserved.
And like, I don't know how you view it, but when I watch them play, they just play really simple football at a really high level.
Uh-huh.
Like, well, it's not inverted fullbacks all the time. It's not overlap. It's just 4-3-3, simple football. You lose the ball, you press, you win it back, and you get the goal as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And there's
literally one of the plays, I don't know if you remember in the second half, Newcastle crossed it into the box. I think Konate got ahead to it, and then it fell to Trent. Instead of Trent just clearing it, he literally looked up, and then he used the technique that no one else in this world has. There's no way. The swirl right into Salah, the trademark pass, and then in 2 passes, you have a shot on goal against Nick Pope, and it's a corner kick for you. Like, that is just something you can't beat. You can't beat. You gotta take your chances against Liverpool, or else they're just gonna attack you like that. So it's unreal. It's unreal.
It's just Klopp football with more defensive stability. It's not that much different. Like, I think when he first came in, I thought it was gonna be more passy, but nah, we're not doing that bullshit.
I hear it.
Correct.
Hey,
we win the
nice
ball,
and
we
simple.
score.
Get your 2 goals, get out. Business. It's business time. Get your trophies. Now, Muck, before I ask a question here, do you have anything that you want to say?
You know,
you can save yourself for Arsenal. It's okay.
No. I'm impressed with Liverpool this season. I've been trying to be a hater, obviously, but you know, it's you get to a point where you can just look back and you can realize that Liverpool is just going to get the results and do what they need to, and a team that's, you know, I'm not speaking necessarily about anyone in particular here, but the team that you support probably isn't gonna do that. So, you know,
that is well said. So I guess I can play some devil's advocate here. Smitty, before we move on to another game, what do you say to the people that are like, oh, you know, you played Man City without Haaland. This is now a Newcastle without Isak. The quality of the league isn't as good. I know you mentioned it a bit in the intro, but it seems like there's a lot of excuses for how Liverpool's playing. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I agree. The quality of the league's not that good, and neither is the quality of the Champions League because Liverpool just beat the shit out of everyone in that too. So it's really it's really interesting because like that's the well, City aren't good, and Arsenal aren't good, and well, they'll play PSG on Wednesday, and we'll see what happens. That's the best team in France. We'll see what happens.
They're probably top 5 in the world right now.
Yeah,
that attack.
We'll see what happens.
Ooh,
if I had to guess, if I had to guess, I believe Liverpool will beat PSG on aggregate about 4-2. If I had to guess, but we'll see.
Okay.
And if they do, you know what it will say? You know what the next thing will be? Well, they haven't played Madrid. They haven't played Barca yet. See, because like I get what you're saying, and partially you're right. It is the league has. They're not as top heavy as it usually is, right? Let's be honest. It's usually 3 teams and then everyone else. This year the league has been 1 team, and then there's about 4, and then there's the rest.
I might disagree with you here.
It might be one.
I think it's 1 team and everyone else.
Yeah, it could be that as well.
Genuinely, I think it's everyone else.
But that's still you can't use that as like the diminishing factor of how the one team's been. Like it's not their fault everyone else hasn't been good. But the Champions League will tell us.
Yeah, no, you gotta do what you gotta do. And to be honest, I'm kind of on the other side of it where I'm like, if everyone's beating each other, doesn't that just mean there's more parity in the league and the quality of the lower teams has caught up to the big 6? Maybe I'm wrong, but
I also think that for years now, clubs have been trying to build to beat City. That's what they've been doing. And now suddenly City's not at the top and there's a new giant, and people are going to have to now try and figure out how to beat Liverpool, because for the current foreseeable future, I can't see anyone beating Liverpool. Obviously, people are going to sign. There's going to be summer signings, but Liverpool's going to keep their same core. They're not going to lose anybody. And teams are going to have to try and figure this out. And I think it's taken the league by surprise at this point.
They might. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. But there's
no word.
Kenny, I would ask you this question because this was a report that has been flying around for the last week around Liverpool. Is the report that after a few summers of not doing it, they are back in the business of making big ticket signings like Alisson and Van Dijk, was the exact tweet and the exact report. Now, I don't know which player fits that mold of a big ticket signing. I think you and I both know which striker that would be. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if there was any way in hell that the man that was sitting in the stands for Newcastle today ends up playing the number 9 for Liverpool next season, you should pray.
Hey, pray. Go ahead, Mucky.
They should also be pretty intrigued about signing their current right wing.
Yeah, that is a problem also.
They should probably get that. They should probably get that done.
That is an issue. That is a massive issue.
You know, there is a left back in the Italian market.
Nope, not him.
I've seen enough of for some years, and I love him to death. He's done his part. But if you're interested in him, think about the hair flicks with him and Szoboszlai, man. He already had it. Szoboszlai already had it with Tonali today. The hair flick battle in the midfield was
somebody.
That was class.
Do you know how Salah tweets the selfies after the game with all the guys that score? Yeah. Someone said, so the Szoboszlai saw the numbers that these were doing. He said, shit, I better start scoring more.
Hey, everything with the headband Szoboszlai, this era of him right now, unplayable. But yeah, no, congrats on the win today. Basically wrapped up the league officially. I think there was still like a couple extra fans out there that wanted to say some things, but I don't know anymore. I do not know, but Any final thoughts before we move on?
Hey, Mikel said, I'm not giving up over my dead body. He said 3 days ago, are you giving up on the league over my dead body? And then today happened.
Well, if today wasn't enough, if you do see a remotely related funeral episode in season 3, just know that you've been warned. But speaking of, I think it's time to switch gears. All this praise, all this good stuff going on. Oh, Mucky. Where do you want to begin? The floor is yours.
How about we just save everyone a bunch of time and just go listen to the episode that was dropped on Saturday, and you'll pretty much get the gist of exactly what it's the exact same thing. But yeah, I mean, we don't have an attack. We're missing our key players, and the attack is stale. Now, I respect Arteta a little bit for changing it up a little bit, at least in the first half. I mean, Calafiore was flying around. There was moments he's playing striker, he's playing left back, he's playing center back. Now, I said immediately after watching about 10 minutes, Calafiore is coming off at halftime. I mean, this guy, there was one instance
Crazy first 2 minutes.
This guy, he makes a run through the midfield, past the whole defense, into their 18. We lose the ball in the midfield, and he's got to sprint all the way back. I'm like, oh my days, this guy, he's going to be knackered.
There was a lot of majestic hair flowing around pitches today. I can't even lie. But his first 1v1 battle against Hudson-Odoi, I thought it was Doku versus Trent. I couldn't believe it.
But then later in the game, he spun a right back and then smashed one off the post.
That was nice.
He looked like Guardiola out there getting up in the attack.
It's Trent's defending and Guardiola's attack. That was his weak foot.
Yeah,
that was his weak foot.
I will say I did like that he played Jorginho today. I thought that was very good tactical ideology, because you know what Force want to do. Like, they want to sit in and they want to play on the counter. Now, in Force hands, like, that's probably the best way that they can play against a team like Arsenal. And their manager even said it after the game, like, we didn't play with 5 defenders today because they don't have a striker. It's like, well, that's a massive, crazy shade that he started to say. Yeah, Mikel Merino is playing up top. I mean, we're not worried about that.
They don't like each other. Nuno and Arteta do not like each other. I think it was wasn't it the commentator saying during the game, like, they were like bickering at one another. Like, there's some animosity. There's some animosity for no reason. Like, I don't know how that even came about. Maybe it was some dark magic, some black magic Arteta tried. Who knows? But
I mean, but Kenny, I kind of get it, because it's like, I'd be bickering on the sidelines too if I was chasing a game and I needed a goal, and I bring on Kieran Tierney, Zinchenko, 30-year-old Raheem Sterling, Ben White, and the guy on this podcast we don't talk about.
Well,
what are you going to do with that?
I understand, and to sum things up for Arsenal's season, from what I think as it's been, there were 2 moments in the second half. The first moment was a Kieran Tierney perfect cross into the box. But then it's like, Kieran Tierney, my brother, what a ball. But why are you crossing it to no one in the box? Because you guys do not have a 9 to anticipate this. The second moment was when it was offsides, but the Odegaard chance. It's tough when this whole entire season, they're trying to tell, like, everyone's saying, Odegaard isn't clinical. He needs to work on his finishing, all this other stuff. And if you want to play the 10, if you want to have these moments, offsides or not, you have to score that. You really have to score that. And I guess give credit to Nottingham for the defending because they are literally madmen. Like, the way they actually got back on the line, but that'd be a cop-out. That'd be a cop-out. So if there's anything else that you guys want to say on it, those were two key moments that I'm like, this has been Arsenal the entire year.
I mean, that was the moment that I was going to say, too, because I only saw, like, maybe 30 minutes of the game, and that was, in that 30 minutes, how he does it. I mean, but he's probably playing with absolutely zero confidence. And I'm not using that as an excuse, but Mucky, you were an attacker. Like,
it's a thing. Yeah.
If it's not going well, it's really not going well. And I think that's what he's suffering from.
Yeah. I mean, Kenny said it perfectly. It just sums up their season. I mean, I'm curious to know how many goals scored we had this year and where we would rank, because it can't be high.
Like XG?
I just total goals scored.
I got you.
And as a second place team, I guarantee you, I mean, I bet it's under 6.
Fifth in goals per match. They're scoring 1.9 goals a game. Still have the best defense in the league, conceding the least amount of goals. Their expected goals, they are in 8th.
Probably compared to last season, it's a bit of a drop-off because I feel like there's... Yeah, go ahead.
I'll put it in perspective. Arsenal have 43.3 XG. Liverpool have 61.8. And then it goes Chelsea, Bournemouth, City, Spurs, Newcastle, and Brentford. So all of those teams you'd expect to be there. But, like, Arsenal can't be down in 8th, especially if you don't have any clinical finishers. Like, if none of your guys can finish chances, you can't be in 8th in XG.
Uh-huh. I agree. And, I mean, a lot of their chances, I feel like the commentator was saying throughout the first half, there were no shots on target. Like, I was watching in and out, so I'm not sure if there were any shots. It was an Arteta game plan where once you get the set pieces, once you get the free kicks, whatever it is, that's where you're going to probably have the highest and best chance to score. Another good game from Ethan Winieri. That's another one I want to call out. I thought he's the only one willing to try something. He's the one willing to go in these different pockets, these different spaces. So do want to give a shout out to him. But again, you're relying on no number 9, a 17-year-old who just broke into the team. You got Calafiori trying to play 8 different positions at once. The fact that you're in this position, I don't know if you're blaming Arteta or the owners or whoever, but what do you expect?
I'll tell you this. I think Arteta suffers from Pep disease. Because, like, yeah, I think you're not scoring. You can't score goals. So if you have the other team pinned back in their half, I don't want to see you pass the ball 75 times before you try to go forward. There's no point. Play riskier. Try to break a line. Try to go in behind. It's like a power play in hockey, and it's just like, we're just going to pass it around the outside here. Let's go fullback, center back, fullback, center back. It's like, somebody, I don't care, hit the ball in the box. Somebody, shoot it from 30 yards. I don't care. You're not scoring goals by breaking teams down. You're not.
Well, you know what we said last week? West Ham gave the blueprint. How do you want to defend Arsenal? How do you want to make sure they don't score? You set the low block. You do what you got to do. And I know he gave that to West Ham, but low-key, it could have been when Everton did the madness, the 0-0 back however long ago. But, yeah, it's just, in Arsenal's like perspective right now, compared to last year, they're probably, 5 or 6 points worse than what they were? Like, does that seem fair?
I would say I don't know. I don't know what they are. I bet it's probably more than 5 or 6. I will say the eye test is a hell of a lot worse. But the eye test was worse at the beginning of the season when they weren't healthy.
Yeah,
we knew it wasn't looking good.
Yeah, you'd probably go legally blind if you tried their eye test right now. But I do want to say, just because as bad as the situation is, the results that Arsenal get, they just seem to be at such a worse and just more intensified time than when Liverpool. Because if you think about it, it's like 0-0 against Nottingham Forest. Liverpool tied Nottingham Forest. If you go to like Aston Villa, Liverpool tied Villa, but when Arsenal did it, just think about the position they're in. They're still playing catch up. And then who was another one? Was it like
Everton?
Everton is another one. But it's when Liverpool ties or drops points, Arsenal's not capitalizing on those situations. So the reason why they're 13 points back is plain and simply that.
They've done that previous years, though. Like, I think I saw something that their record against the Big Six, I don't think they've lost to a Big Six team in like a year or something. But their record against, I think it was West Ham, Forest, and Fulham or something, they're like 500 against those teams. It's like, well, there's your issue.
Yep. They're ready for the big game.
Anybody can get up to play City. Anybody can get up to play Liverpool. Anybody can get up to play Arsenal. Can you get up to play Forest? Can you get up to play West Ham?
Fulham.
And like I said earlier, I don't know if they have anybody. If Odegaard's your captain, I'm sorry, but what has he done? What has he won? You know what I mean? Do they have Mikel? It's his first job. Do they have the mindset to get over the hump?
Well, it's like there's a couple Prem winners in there, and then Jorginho, he's like a leader, so I can't even blame like a leadership aspect. I feel like you just have to get the job done. Like if you want to achieve something that you haven't before, you have to do things that haven't been done. Like that's it. That's it. If you think you deserve this Prem, snatch that. That's what City did to them the past 2 years. That's what City's done to Liverpool prior to that. You got to take what's yours. If you think it's yours, take that.
The good news, Muck, is that you can focus on the Champions League now.
Yeah, I mean, we're not winning that either. I mean, look, what do you think we can win with this lineup?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Possession.
The Carabao Cup.
The Arsenal fans online, focusing on Champions League, man. This is our trophy.
Any final thoughts, Mucky? Anything else on your mind?
I just think, speaking to us always dropping points to lesser teams, I think when teams sit in on us and we're not playing a top team that's not going to show us the same respect, Arsenal is going to do that. They're going to play around the 18. I mean, you have Gabriel and Calafiore on the corner of the 18. It's just opening you up to be countered. And when they are consistently not successful at actually breaking down teams, you're going to get countered at least once or twice a match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fair play to them for still having one of the top defenses in the league with that. But, I mean, you just got to be more direct. And it's just been a downtrend year over year. I think it was getting worse last year where it was a lot of going down Saka's flank, but he was still being creative, and they're whipping in balls. Now it's literally just robotic, and I mean, there's no
disease.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I think that era of footy is changing and transitioning right now.
Gone.
So it's tough if you catch that disease. Right, it'd be like us catching COVID right now.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Like that'd be a stinker.
If you have to quarantine in your house in 2025 because you got COVID,
like come on now,
that might be what Arsenal have. Guardiola disease. It worked not that long ago, like a year ago. It worked, so
it did.
But dude, there's no teams that are having consistent success doing it. Like who's trying to play that way? Chelsea, Arsenal, and City. Other than that, no one else in the league's playing that way. And those three teams, you don't really know what the hell you're going to get.
I saw the Maresca quote. I don't even know if I want to speak on it, but
what did he say? I didn't hear.
It was basically just, I told Jorgensen, you better play out the back or else you're on the bench. Yeah, and I'm just like, this is Is this another Pep disciple, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. There we have it. Pep is ruining coaches. I'm here for that narrative. I'm here for it. But, yeah, Arsenal 0, Nottingham 0. Anything on Nottingham's side? We kind of knew what the game plan was, but...
This is forced, man. I hope they get tough for it, dude. Seeing them in Champions League in that tiny stadium, it'd just
Unreal.
be incredible.
It would be electric. But, yeah, a point each, and Arsenal gets to play Manchester United next. So,
damn it.
Wow.
You know what's the worst part about that is I didn't even look, but I'm gonna bet that's gonna be Sunday, 11:30 NBC.
I
the whole
think
weekend.
you're right. I think you're right because
is it?
I think it's 8:30 my time, so that might be 11:30 for you guys.
They made it 12:30 instead, even better.
Oh wow!
That way
Prime
they can
time.
take even more time out of my Sunday to just make me just ruin my day.
I don't know. They should just go back to like Law and Order for USA is cooking. Like if it's on USA, just play Law and Order because that is on repeat. They had Law and Order for 3 hours straight today.
They got Law
and then it's 90 minutes, and then Law and Order.
Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Original, Law and Order New York, Law and Order Special Victims, and then if
even get the NCIS in there.
If they run out of episodes, it's right to NCIS. Guaranteed. They have 3 shows. Premier League mornings, NCIS, and the FBI series.
But we did, I don't know how many more results you guys want to go through. Like, I did see some because I had the multi-view thing on Peacock, but...
I don't really want to talk about results. I'd rather talk about just specific things that happened.
Go for it.
The Dorgu and Onana, where he basically passed the ball at his own goal. We're going to try to figure out what they were thinking in that moment that led to that decision making.
I'm glad you brought up this play. So as a defender, back in my heyday, if the ball is bouncing right outside probably 5-10 yards outside the 18, and you are comfortably going to get there, why your goalkeeper is coming out to the mere corner of the 18 is something that you can't explain. So Dorgu, I'm sorry that you had to go through that because that buffoon in the net is trying to get Man United relegated. But I'll get to that point after. Smitty, go ahead.
My original thought was he didn't say anything, and that's why he played it backwards.
There's no way he said anything.
Because anyone with the brain is either just smashing that ball out of bounds for a throw-in, or they're just doing what he did, just nestling that pass back to their goalkeeper. Now, then again, Onana could have just grabbed the ball with his hands before Dorgu kicked it. So like you said, Onana shouldn't have been there in the first place. He should have just been in the middle of his goal. But he could have solved that issue by simply picking the ball up with his hands.
That's insane. But, Smitty, think about it. You're expecting Onana to use his hands as a goalkeeper? How could you? You want Onana?
He's not using his voice either, so I don't know what he is using.
He's not using anything except whatever voodoo that Paul Pogba's brother probably used on him as well. And now we're just seeing this nonsense because I don't know if you saw the second goal. I'm trying to tell you guys, Onana's trying to get them relegated. He's single-handedly trying to get them relegated. Again, I know the play, it is a tough play as a keeper. You've seen it before, but I'll let you go.
I have a theory, Kenny. You're saying Onana wants to get him relegated. Is there any chance that Sir Jim Radcliffe had a meeting with Andre and said, if we get relegated, everyone's wages get cut in half and the club can save money?
I see what you did there.
Could we do some investigations into this situation?
I think we have to.
Ayres leading 2 goals against Manchester United. David De Gea 17. Andrew Onana, 12. David De Gea played 12 seasons, and Onana has played 2 seasons.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, he's literally committing war crimes, and maybe it was Sir Jim saying, hey, I'm saving up some Sir Jim lunch boxes since we can't hand out any other hot, fresh food for you guys. That's too much in the budget. So if you get a couple saves or fake saves, do what you got to do. I got a Sir Jim lunchbox here right for you.
They
right
said
here.
They're giving out fresh fruit. You know what's funny is I saw a tweet that said Arteta actually wanted Onana to be his goalkeeper. Now, how funny would that have been?
Loki, you probably would have been like Ramsdale. The way it panned out.
It'd be worse. It'd be so much worse.
You think it'd be worse?
It'd be so much worse.
No, towards the end, Ramsdale was going crazy.
If I was Chelsea, I would be talking to Aaron Ramsdale's agents every single day, asking how I can buy him in the summer.
You think?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
He is so much better than anyone Chelsea has. And I'm not saying he's good because he's had a struggle, but
it's looking crazy at Southampton too. I don't know. But yeah, no, Onana, just take a seat, bro. Like save yourself. No need to act like you want to be a keeper. There's no need. It's not Halloween. You don't have to dress up as this. Like
Muck, if you worked for $1 billion corporation and they had a food court and they were serving you hot lunches every day, and the corporation, they're not succeeding. Let's say you're working for Apple and now Samsung's selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of product more than you are. And the CEO gets on the stage and goes, "Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the work that you do, but we need to save some money. We're getting rid of the cafeteria, and now you're only going to have fresh fruit available." What are you doing as an employee of that company?
Probably pulling my pants down and taking a dump straight on the cafeteria table. And then I'll put the fresh fruit up in there too, because that'd be wild.
Make a nice fruit salad.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I was gonna the dressing choice I was gonna say was gonna be crazy, so I'll leave that. But it's funny you mentioned that. Randomly, there was I won't say who I know, but one of my good friends out here, he used to work at the NFL, and at the NFL they had like the whole cafeteria and the office, everything. I think the price went up just a couple dollars. Like nothing crazy. It was probably like from $7 to like $10.
Just following the inflation price. That's normal. Like that's normal. Yeah.
A normal business decision. But I guess 3 of the people he worked with tried like stealing food from the cat.
The NFL can't pay for their employees' lunches.
Well, they were
Manchester United.
They were, but then it's like just a simple price hike, so minimal. But they were stealing. They stole from the cafeteria, and then probably 2 days later, they just get a knock on the office like, "Your time's up, buddy. Pack your things." So maybe that's what some Manchester United players should do. But
imagine
that's wild.
He got fired from his job over a couple of ham and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. Take about in total like every day.
That might actually get cut out of the episode. I mean,
oh man, but yeah, no, United they won the game with 10 men. Did you guys see the red card?
Yeah, I mean it's a red. It's unfortunate, but
I don't even think it was his fault though, just because Amari Hutchinson literally missed the ball, and his miss turned into one of the most egregious challenges that I've seen this season.
Well, Amari Hutchinson's just not good, let's be honest, at all.
Well,
he's not.
Yes. That's tough. He's a true wonder kid that everyone grew up.
He's a true one of these guys that just gets the ball, dribbles 800 touches, covers 3 yards, and then passes to somebody else. That's what he does.
He's also on
Ipswich type of player. My favorite type of player.
Speaking of that, Phil Foden came off the bench today for Man City. Anyone see any highlights? Anyone see anything? I know Haaland played. I know who else played? Marmoush played at the 10. Anything going on here?
I'm so out on this Phil Foden guy. I'm just done with him. I can't.
You don't like Walter?
I can't do it anymore, dude. I just can't. I was watching some video yesterday with Jamie Carragher and a bunch of
Oh no.
Yeah, that's usually signs for bad content. But
He's
he was
in
with
the mud.
The Manchester City fan. They asked him, they were like, it seemed like Foden was always involved in previous years, and this year he's just out there. And the guy literally said, he's like, well, yeah, playing the amount of games he has at his age just isn't good. Like, dude, he's 24 years old. What are you talking about? He's not 30. He's 24 years old. And he hasn't even played every game for City. What's he like?
It wasn't like soccer, where soccer was playing 90 plus every single time at 18 years old. Phil Foden would come on for a cameo. They'd cheer him on like, oh, go on, Philly, one of our own. But like, in terms of minutes, soccer's easily clearing Foden for that. Foden hasn't played that much.
I don't want to go back to Arsenal, but that's going to have to change too. Like Arteta can't, when he gets everyone healthy, he's going to have to learn something from this. Because they spent $1.2 million to go to Dubai, and all they did out of it was get their striker injured.
King Kai, but no, I mean, in terms of this City game, moving from Foden, I will say that nothing changed from last game. Jeremy Doku is terrorizing any right back in his way. He has a highlight on Pedro Porro now, and then I think Savinho on the other side, he dropped Udogi. Like, from what I saw, those boys, they're cooking on the wing. But everything else about City, I just feel like no one really cares anymore. Like, this fall from grace, it's just like, oh, you beat Spurs 1-0, congrats, but no one's really invested.
They played Spurs on February 26th, and it had absolutely zero implications on anything to do with final results and final positions in the table. Who would have thought that? Who would have predicted that? If you would have said at the beginning of the season, Spurs and City are going to play a meaningless game in February, you would have been like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You would have said City are what, 60
side.
City are 30 points clear already. Wow.
Yeah. Jeez. But yeah, no, like, there's really not much to say about this City game. Like, nothing really stands out for me. Tottenham, just mid-table. I think they're level on points with United. Nothing else really going for them. But yeah, they're getting everyone healthy. They're happy everyone's healthy. They're going to try to make a run in Europa League, and they shall see what happens there.
I still think the funniest result of the weekend was Palace beating Villa 4-1.
Holy moly, mate. That result was crazy. That was crazy. Did you watch some of it?
I didn't watch a single second of it. I just opened my phone and said 4-1. Villa must be getting ready for the Champions League this week.
It is this week. It is coming week. So I was like watching casually, but I'm going to say it over and over again. Mateta has the coldest celebration in the Prem. I don't care what anyone else does. I don't care if it's Rodgers with the Cole Palmer celly. Whoever celly that is, it's not cold enough. Mateta, as soon as he scores, the fist bump with the kick to the corner flag, and everyone just going like, boom, at once. Oh my! It gives me chills. Oh, it's so good to see.
Is it better than Lewis Skelly doing the Holland celebration?
Yes. Lewis Skelly, he got to go back to school, man. I don't want to go back to Arsenal, but you can't keep getting these red cards in your first month. Stay off the pitch for a little bit. Even though I love him, he's gonna be so good.
Yeah, there's just really not that much to look forward to anymore the rest of the season, to be honest.
Well,
like I was thinking that today, and then the thought popped up in my head that if everything goes well, Arsenal will have to give a guard of honor at Anfield. And I said, well, that's going to be pretty. How's Arteta going to line up at Anfield? They said 10 men on the right and 10 men on the left. And then we're going to walk right through it.
I'm sorry, Muck. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to hear this. This is torture.
Nah, he loves it.
Is
He loves it because he wants Mikel out. He's just not ready to admit it yet.
Yeah, maybe
Mikel
can get a job at working with USA on maybe one of those NCIS shows you were talking about.
He has the looks. He could be a good actor. And he likes to lie a lot, too. So he definitely could read the script.
Well, maybe a Bond villain.
They'd probably put him on the stand for like Haram Ball.
Dude,
something like that.
I could see Arteta playing Iron Man in an Avengers movie.
No, it'd be like when Thanos did his snaps in the movies, and Arteta's like, "It's not over till it's over."
And just go to Mikel. Over my dead body. Over my dead body. We don't have a striker. It's shit. Over my dead body, I believe we win the Premier League this season.
But yeah, no, honestly, I think we're good. The results, like, there were other results, but at the end of the day, the two main things was Liverpool is going to keep Liverpooling, and Arsenal is turning into Netflix. But anything else from you guys?
But
I don't pay that subscription. That price is crazy.
Yeah, you do. You're lying. Somebody has Netflix.
Speaking
I
of
guess we'll
Netflix,
never know.
I would love to see the locker room this season, how much Mikel's flipping out. That would be...
You think he's flipping out?
They did that. They did the All or Nothing documentary with Arsenal, a couple years ago?
It was
great
bad.
now.
It was bad then.
That was what they had a Aubameyang.
That was so funny. Those training sessions, they're just fighting each other for no reason. Oh,
Pierre did not show up one time to training. He now trains on his own. He got him pulling up the training in his Ferrari, and he's just like, strolling in. He couldn't care less. Go train by yourself.
Bag's different over there.
Crazy to say, that was probably the last time we were exciting to watch.
The best part. I hate doing this to Arsenal, I really do. But the best part of the documentary was when they were getting ready to play at Anfield, and he pulled out the speakers, and he just blasted "You'll Never Walk Alone" during training, and then they lost 4-0.
Smitty, just close it out. Close it out. You got it. Wi-Fi is in shambles.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Another good episode, I think. If you have been enjoying the podcast, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and or Spotify. Check us out on the socials at TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We are going to get Twitter up and running again. We're all signing off. I'm Smitty. That is Kenny and Muck, all saying peace out. We'll see you on the next one.